Hi and welcome back to the SWAU channel. I'm Brian, your host, and I just wanted to run over a few of the amazing things I did the other weekend at London Film and Comic Con. I was joining the team at SWAU over there because they had the authentication booth, but I just wanted to welcome you back to the channel, and I've returned with an epic weekend from London Film and Comic Con, and trust me, this year was bigger, bolder, and packed with more geeky goodness than ever. So let's dive into what London Film and Comic Con 2025 had for an event to remember. So this year, London Film and Comic Con took over Olympia London once again, and what you are watching now is a bit of footage I filmed while walking around. This was before the convention opened, and as you can see there, everyone's poised for action. But you know what? As soon as you stepped foot through those doors at the Olympia, the energy hit you like no other. Cosplayers were everywhere, and jaw-dropping armored Mandalorians to incredibly detailed animation recreations. The layout was smooth, well signed, and the crew kept everything flowing, even with a huge turnout. And the huge turnout was on the Saturday, and it was slightly quieter on the Sunday. So let's talk about the real draw. And it's, of course, the guests. And as you can see there, there's a lineup of guests there for every single person. And I've got to mention, on Saturday, Mel Gibson literally attracted everyone. It was unbelievable. And you know what? We are going to talk about quickly about the pros and cons of this Comic Con. A lot of people are going to comment, so please, if you went to this Comic Con, please comment on the video below what you thought worked well and what you thought they could work on for next year. The first thing I want to point out is that this year it was done in one room. It's normally done in two halls, but there are a lot of work being done. So, the word on the street is next year they're going to be back to full strength into two rooms, which will make it feel a bit more, spaced out during the big guests, which Mel Gibson definitely attracted them. But you could tell the fans were deeply engaged on the Saturday when I was there, especially during those off-the-cuff stories that the guests were telling, as well as the Q&As on stage, which unfortunately I couldn't record any. I tried to record, but the lovely showmasters, marshals, the crew kindly told me not to record because we weren't allowed to. And those cues, let's get those addressed, those cues. So generally, I thought that this convention was handled very, very well. The cues were well thought out. The crew dealt with all the people very, very well. There was a lot of shouting, but what you expect when you get people like Sean Young, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Faye Marseille from Andor. So they had massive guests there, and they're going to, attract cues. So even with some of the biggest names in attendance, one highlight for me was seeing some of these Q&As. You can see there on the screen, Nick Blood there. And then we'll go back out. Yeah, David Costabile from 13 Hours, Billions, which I watched, which I thought was fantastic. And then let's talk about one of the things that London Film and Comic Con nailed this year was the schedule. The panels were well paced, and the topics range from legacy TV shows and superhero cinema to brand new indie horror. A big shout out to the guys presenting the panels. They did very, very well, and the questions were very thought out and very entertaining, full of passion, creativity, and just a lot of love for the fandom. And let's not forget the vendors and the artist alleys. So the great thing about this convention, there's many out there that have lots of vendors and artists, and it just seems to be the same every single place that you go. And this convention, there wasn't a store that was selling the same thing. You had models, you had posters, you had You know, upstairs you had the artist alleys where you had people selling their comics and stories and books and everything like that. And I just thought it was really refreshing to see each stall being completely different, and the prices normally at Comic Cons are very, very big. As you can see there, the queue that was for I think it was for Mel Gibson, the photo section there. So this convention was slightly dangerous for your wallet because you felt the need to spend, like that man just there with that big box, a need to spend your money. So London Film and Comic Con, was it worth it? I think so. Will I be going to the one in London in winter? I think so as well. You know what? It's a celebration in its purest form, and it gets busy, yes. The queues can be long, but the payoff totally worth it. So I want to find out what your views were from this weekend. I had a great, weekend. You can see from the footage at the beginning of the video, I caught some great moments, but I want to find out about you guys and what you thought of this convention. If you've never been before, so mark your calendar for later on this year. They've got their winter film and Comic Con in Olympia. And if you were there this year, please drop your highlights in the comments, and I'd love to hear what made your con extra special this weekend. And I want to thank the people from SWAU for having me down for the weekend as well, especially Dave from the authentication booth. They were busy the entire weekend, and it was great to see how many unique pieces, not necessarily from the convention, that was getting authenticated. I saw a lot of pieces from the Superman fan event that was in London, which, fully enough, I was there, but I was on the red carpet, so I couldn't get any autographs. But I did get lots of things signed this weekend at London Film and Comic Con. But this is just a quick rundown of a bit. Oh, look, someone from One Piece there. Excellent cosplay. And this is just a bit of a rundown of my experience. I thought it was a great experience. I'm going to try and get Jason Joyner, the man in charge of Showmasters, on the show to talk about what it takes to put a Comic Con together, because we don't really hear from the organisers a lot. But thank you so much. This was just a quick video just to highlight some of the great things, this Comic Con has got to offer. There you can see the Comic Con in full force. The queue, the guests were at the back, and it was so busy the entire weekend, but so well organised, well thought out. The stalls were great, the guests were amazing, and they did have some cancel, like Richard Dreyfuss and some others, but I think they did a brilliant job. So thank you so much for watching. We've got some excellent interviews coming up very soon on the channel. So please hit subscribe, press follow, the bell notification so you don't miss out on future interviews and news. But this is me, Brian, your host, signing off. Keep safe, and I'll see you very soon with some awesome guests.